So obviously there's like a whole bunch of talks with Multiversus coming back, and the game seems to have a lot of promise with the while there's no characters, there's like these new underlying changes with the Unreal Engine 5, the addition of dash attacks, new character reworks, dashing is in the game. Characters are just a little bit reworked, we saw, I think Harley had a couple new moves that were changed, not just dash attacks. And the overall balance and microtransactions with the free-to-play aspect is also getting changed, right? So there's all of these like underlying more subtle things that are getting changed for the game, as well as just the aesthetic change, the art style boost, But there's all these great things, and I don't like being devil's advocate, but I'm going to, because as a tournament organizer, this is something that I've had a lot of questions about, and if a dev happens to be able to respond, it would be great, or like a representative, Tony, shouts to Tony, if somebody can respond. If not, cool, we'll find out when the game releases pretty soon in May, right? But my main thing with this discussion video is this: will the game work offline? And what do I mean by that? Because you're like, Cherry, you're literally playing it right now when the game's not even online. The servers are gone. So what do I mean by this? So when the game came out, there was a lot of praise for it. A lot of players, 100,000 players at launch, That's like a record for a fighting game at launch. And the game was at EVO. The game was literally a huge, big game. It was very popular. But the one thing that they noticed with the player base at EVO was that, unfortunately, while playing, the characters and the players were trying to connect their controllers, or you'd see people who'd connect their controllers, and all of a sudden their character would be controlled by their partner, or be controlled by their opponent, or their controller just simply wouldn't work with Multiversus. I know for a fact that Ajax, when he hosted his, I think it was Platinum Star, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. I'm so bad with regions, but I know Ajax hosted Multiverse Weeklies, and it always seemed like there was some sort of controller issue, whether it was because the person used keyboard or because they used GameCube controller, and there were so many workarounds just as a tournament organizer that you just had to be aware of, and they just never were resolved. It was the whole lifespan of the game. There was always these issues with just the game not functioning offline. So weeklies and offline tournaments were really hard, and for a lot of people that might not be the biggest concern, because they're more even myself, I'm more of a casual player on Multiversus. I just enjoy twos. I enjoy going on a quick play with a buddy and grinding it, so why should I care? And the main reason why is because, well, number one, a big part of platform fighters is their local scene, or being able to play it at the weekly, right? Multiversus even had a offline mode where you could go in and not only train offline, but if we go into the menu system here, right, we can go in and we would be able to normally play with an opponent, right? So we can do local play, and we can have another controller join, right? But there was so many issues with this being set up that even today you don't see Multiverse weeklies, or you don't see Multiverse tournaments offline, even though it should be accessible to do so. With the training room, you're still able to practice. With this, you're still able to grind with people offline, and we're seeing this being used for Parsec. So it is functional with different controllers, right, through Parsec. But at Multiversus for EVO, or EVO for Multiversus, we saw that I think it delayed Mortal Kombat, which was after Multiversus Top 8, by a couple hours, because there was just a ton of issues with the game in terms of connecting a controller. And I'm not going to act like I'm an expert on it, and I'm not going to act like other platform fighters don't have these issues. We just got through Naz 2's worst issues with controller stuff, and I also understand fighting game players, and not everybody uses just a simple PlayStation 5 pad. Some people, they use the age 20-year-old crappy GameCube controller, that they found in their mom's basement, with their third-party May Flash adapter, and their very specific X input only lossless adapter, or they have their fighting game pad, or they're a Brawlhalla player and play with their keyboard, right? So then how the heck are you going to connect all these things, right? And it's difficult, but possible. And I say this because Rivals 2, another platform fighter, just announced that they will have dual keyboard support. Brawlhalla, a game that's not necessarily similar to Multiversus, but it's the only other comparison as a big free-to-play platform fighter. They have dual keyboard support at their offline majors, and that's commendable. It's great that you have that as just a stable feature that is just expected, and it should be something that is expected, and it should be something that players are saying, no, that's too much. We shouldn't expect something like that from developers. And I don't even know if NASP 2 has dual keyboard support. I'm not gonna lie to you, so I can't even act like the game that I'm most versed in even has the stamina organizer for that game. So it's just that for that game nobody really uses keyboard as far as I'm aware. But my main thing with this discussion and just this overall video is to say, listen, I'm excited for Multiversus as much as the next guy, and I have seen a lot of people in my region, Smash TOs, mainly people who are in charge of Ignition and other weeklies, who are all very excited about Multiversus coming back and maybe trying to host some stuff. But in the back of my mind, I'm seeing this and I'm like, well, good luck, because if it's anything like how it was, which I don't expect it to be, but we didn't get any official word on it. So I'm just speculating here on if it's different or not. Will there be true controller support offline? And even if that's only the major three things, like Xbox, GameCube, and PS pad support. Hoping for dual keyboard support too. I think if you can have those four things, where all of them could be working simultaneously, whether it's in teams, you can have one keyboard, one Xbox, one GameCube, and one keyboard, or even two keyboard and two of the other two, that's how you know that you're in the right spot, right? Is when you're able to have that dual keyboard support plus some wacky extra peripherals. So that's just this discussion I'm having, that's just my question. So if there's any Multiversus devs out there, representatives or whatnot, that can answer this question, or just people who maybe, let's say, maybe did get updated after Evo and there were fixes to it, feel free to educate me on this. But as far as I'm aware, if I were to even test this live for you, so I have a GameCube adapter, plug this puppy in. Let's see. Let's head to the local play real quick. So yeah, I'm not really able to connect it. There's not really a functional way to get this going. If I were to use keyboard, for instance, maybe. Oop. Let's see here. So V. Let's see. Plug this puppy in. Yeah, so it really doesn't, I don't know if that's just, because I had plugged it in when the game launched or what, but it doesn't seem even if I unplug this, my PS5 controller, and then select the character with my keyboard, that it'll allow a secondary person to, plug this in, and start running. Even if it's saying this push a button, it just auto-selects to the first character, right? And I don't know if that's even similar to what the issues were for Evo. Like I said, I just know that there was a ton of issues. I have a lot of colleagues who were competitors at Evo with Mario Stare, Pugex, and a couple others as well. Mirror Man, they all had some sort of issue here or there with their controller at Evo. And even if you have to drop GameCube controller support, I get it. It's an old controller. It shouldn't be supported. Delvino was able to make it X input anyway, so it's at least something. But, and I honestly don't even use GameCube for this game. I use Xbox or PS pretty interchangeably. But just, it's one of those things that we have to have the discussion about. And I'm the organizer, so I'm just going to be thinking of it first, you know? So it's just one of those things that I have to ask, you know? And I did this with NASB 2 as well. When it was getting announced, I kind of called them out and was like, what does this crossplay mean? Like, when they were kind of being a little, like, funky with the marketing on it. And maybe this is just a fumble by marketing, similarly by Multiversus. So, Multiversus, social, if you see this, just feel free to see if you can answer this. If not, maybe give me like a thumbs up. I don't know. But what do you guys think? Is this game going to have proper controller support? Am I stupid? Did they already figure this out? Feel free to comment that below. If this is something that is since resolved and like it just wasn't talked about for whatever reason, that's something I would love to know, so that I'm not like announcing and talking about something that really doesn't need to be talked about, right? Is this something that you care about? Is this something that I should be worried about? Let me know. I know a lot of multiverse tournaments were online, but still, I think the offline scene is important for any fighting game, no matter what type it is, right? So, I hope you appreciated this little discussion video about Multiversus. I'll be making more Multiversus content as time goes on, and I won't be ever walking away from NASB. It's just, I'm just invested in this game casually, and I want to make some videos from time to time just about it, and walking up to its launch too. So, if you're new here to this channel, I'll be making Multiversus content tournaments for it, as well as I'm one of the head community leaders and TOs for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 1 and 2. So make sure to give this video a like if you did, and if you want to see more, make sure to give this channel a subscription, as it just really helps out the channel more than you'd expect. And I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of May, so I appreciate you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.